All right. Hello, everyone. If you're watching this, it is October 15th, 2020. We're getting into Halloween time, which is pretty exciting. So today we're starting a new unit talking about figurative language. It is very important. So the learning targets today are I can understand the importance of figurative language and I can identify different forms of figurative language. So figurative language is basically the idea that it is a literary device that expresses idea in a different manner than they explained. That's a lot of big words for adults. So basically, the definition is things are not supposed to be taken literally. We use it every single day. You'd probably not even realize it. You use it every single day. And for the most part, figurative language is used in our speech. It is also used in music. People just say things they don't really mean, and people understand what they mean. So by writing with figurative language, it makes writing more creative and different. And same thing with music. If we all talked without figurative language, it would be basically just us stating facts all the time. It'd be very dull and very weird. So figure of speech would be simile, metaphors, personification, alliteration, onomatopoeia, hyperbole, and idioms. So, but we're not really going to talk too much about idioms, and I'm hiding this because I don't look at it. So simile and metaphor are very similar. They're both comparisons. So a simile is a comparison using like or as, using like, as, so, then, and more. So example, Josh is funny as a clown. So Josh really isn't a clown. It'd be kind of weird if he was. Clowns, I don't really think exist anymore. I don't know. I haven't been to a circus in years. And another example is Romeo is whiny like a baby. It doesn't mean that Romeo actually is a baby. It just means he's whiny like a baby. A metaphor is a comparison without using like, as, so, then, and others. So it's still a comparison. The keywords are is and was. And it's basically just verbs. So example, life is a highway. It's a comparison. Life is not really a highway. That doesn't make any sense. What they're trying to say is life is very long, all right? And that's what they're comparing life to. But notice there's no like or as. So the easy way to remember is simile has like or as. Metaphor is not. They're both comparisons. Easy enough. So, for example, Max's answer was music to my ears. Now, unless Max is singing to me, which would be really, really odd and cringy, that it means that the answer was right. And again, it's a comparison. He's comparing the answer to music, and there is no like or as. So keep that in mind. There's some confusion about what the two things are being compared. We talked about this, blah, 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 blah. Personification is that has the word person in it. So personification is giving human qualities to inanimate objects. So example is the sun smiled down on us, or the flame of the candle danced in the breeze. And last time I checked, the sun is not a living creature, so it can't smile down on us. And it would be very terrifying if that was possible. I would be very scared because the sun is ginormous. Number two is the flame of the candle danced in the breeze. Flames can move around because of the breeze, but the flames are not alive. This is not Adventure Time with Flame Princess. There's no possible way that the flame of the candle is actually dancing. So keep that in mind. There's a lot of movies out there that have personification, like Cars and that Planes movie, which was terrible, that didn't get off the ground. Ha ha ha. Pun. We'll talk about later. And like Beauty and the Beast, and a whole bunch of like other movies and shows. And it's usually animals, but there can also be creatures as well. So keep that in mind. An oxymoron are two words placed together that contradict each other. So it's two opposite things. So example would be jumbo shrimp. Shrimp, the word shrimp in the dictionary means small. And like somebody someday, discovered a bigger shrimp and like, I'm gonna call it a jumbo shrimp. And everyone's like, okay, but it doesn't make any sense. And that's what happened. Or another example is like The Walking Dead. I'm not talking about the TV show. Like The Walking Dead is a TV show, but right now there aren't Walking Dead. So until that point, when The Walking Dead becomes a reality, which will be coming up, I assume, pretty soon, that there is no such thing as Walking Dead. Or example would be Alone Together. You can't be technically alone and be together. It doesn't make any sense. Another classic oxymoron would be like working vacation. It doesn't really work. If you're on vacation, you shouldn't be working. That doesn't make any sense. A pun is a joke exploiting different words. Puns are supposed to be funny, but they're the cheapest form of entertainment known to man. So examples, I don't understand puns. Aha, it's so silly because it's a donut. Or two, what happened to you? I got fired and it's a bullet. Ah, how silly. An adventure, and I'll pack in my bags and it's an alpaca. Ah, how silly. Anyway, moving on. Onomatopoeia is giving sounds to words. So example is the bee buzzed past me, or I heard the sizzle of the chicken on the fryer. So onomatopoeia are words. And words, by the way, is a human creation. So we use words to describe things. So let's say a long time ago with cavemen that they heard a bee flying by, and one of the cavemen's like, hey, what's that sound that bee's making? And the other guy's like, it's a buzz. Okay, so that's the word. And what's really weird is that onomatopoeia changes by language. So example would be in Japan, like in America here, cats say meow. In England and Australia and Canada, English-speaking countries, cats say meow. But in Japan, they say nyan, N-Y-A-N, so they go nyan. Another example from Japan would be that in America, our phones go beep, beep, or ring, ring. But in Japan, they go pee, 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 pee. So it's just P-I, P-I, P-I over and over again. It's just the way culture is. So like chickens go cock-a-doodle-doo, roosters go cock-a-doodle-doo in English-speaking countries, but in Germany, they go kikeriki. So it's weird to us, but to them, it's normal, and they would probably say the same thing. So keep that in mind. Hyperbole is what every good eighth grader is really good at. So it's an over-exaggeration, not to be taken literally. So like, I'm so hungry I could die. You're not gonna die. You'll live. Like you can live about a week without food and 3 days without water. Or I told you a million times what to do. I'm sure your parents have said that. I'm sure they haven't told you a million times. So alliteration, consonants, and answers is alliteration is the repetition of sounds in a sentence. It's kind of a tongue twister. So, like example is Happy Haley hopped home after hockey. You can hear the H sounds. Happy Haley hopped home after hockey. Or obviously Oscar observed obstacles overseas. And consonants are sounds that are not vowels. So H's are not vowels, while assonance is. I'll keep that in mind. Illusion. It's not like, oh, a magic trick. Wow, I pulled a rabbit out of my hat. Illusion is when an older story is referenced in a newer story. So example is like in the 80s or maybe even 70s, I don't know. There's the Karate Kid movie, the Karate Kid Trains. It's actually a really good movie. And then in the Hercules movie, there's the same training scene. So it's like paying homage to an older movie. So that's what happens, or a book or a story. It's kind of confusing, but I'll give you examples more later. So foreshadowing is what to come telling you what will happen without you knowing it. So foreshadowing is like when the audience knows something that's going to happen, the characters don't know. So like we know if you watch the original episode 1, 2, and 3 of Star Wars, this little boy turns into Darth Vader. Or in The Dark Knight, the greatest movie ever made, you know that this guy here is going to turn into Two-Face, Harvey Dent. So yeah, that's foreshadowing. Connotation is what a word actually means in a cultural or emotional way. So it's slang. So example, chill. Originally, the word chill means like put something on ice to cool it down. But after a while, chill's like, right now it means to relax. Like, chill out, man. In 30 years down the road, the words can change quite drastically. So different words change all the time, like what their meanings are. So, yeah. A denotation is dictionary definition, the meaning. So, example, chill means to really relax. That's what it means. There's an easy way to remember the difference. Dictionary denotation is D's, and then denotation is dictionary, and then connotation is not. So keep that in mind. Irony is verbal irony is when it's like supposed to be jokes. Verbal irony is when the speaker says something but means something else. Sarcasm. So that's like me or Miss Higgins 24/7, just sarcasm where we don't mean the same thing. Two, dramatic irony is when the audience or reader knows something that the characters do not know. So that would mean like in those episodes where like a cartoon show where example like SpongeBob can't find his name tag and it's on the back of his name on the back of his shirt the entire time, or when like there's a problem that has a minor fix that can be fixed really easily. That's dramatic irony. And something situational irony is when something happens but the opposite really happens. So that example would be that it is let's backtrack in time and it's the 4th of July and I go outside and I'm wearing shoes like flip flops, my slides, and I'm wearing just a regular t-shirt. Also, it starts snowing. That would be situational irony because no one's expecting that to happen. All right, and that is the end of figurative language. Thank you very much for watching.